Good evening, Bruin fans, and welcome to another edition of Something Bruin with Coach Cook. And here we are, just about the middle of October, second weekend um, coming in here to October. And Rashad, the sun is out, but cooler temperatures are here. So it's
Yes,
full force football weather. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, Rags. Can't complain. Another week that we get to coach kids hard. Another week we get to coach the sport that we love. The kids get to play the sport that they love. So can't complain. And the weather has been very nice.
Yes. Yeah, and the thing is hey, I mean, last week here with the home game, I mean, hey, it's just time in season, just turn the page and move on to the next opponent.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, again, we're looking at quality opponents. We're playing against perennial playoff teams as well. The injury bug has not been our friend. This year's been a struggle trying to get our starters back on the field within perspective. But we have some young guys really stepping up, really hammering week in and week out, day to day. And again, we just gotta continue to believe, trust the process and be disciplined in what we do. It takes nothing away from Indian River and Coach Carr and what those guys were able to do the other night. But we again, it sounds cliche, but we can't, say it enough. We can't lose to this logo on my chest, Western Branch High School. We got to work hard, practice hard, play hard, and I think Friday nights are indications of how our weekly prep went.
Yeah, and the other thing is I know that October started in the middle of the week last week, but you know, Coach Arculin didn't leave town until this past Monday or Tuesday. So, there he is on the sidelines there Friday night.
Absolutely. But Coach has seen the highs this week, in the first half of the season. He's seen some of the lows. One thing I will say is the game was officiated a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
So, again, we can't make excuses, but, we can't say that flags flew free. And that was the indication of what we never would know. But, yeah, we appreciate Coach Arculin being supportive of our program, being at several games this year in the first half. Obviously, we had appearances by other coaches and alumni, notable alumni as well. So, the support is there, the work ethic is there. Our kids are working. We're really rallying behind our senior class to really push and lead these young men. And we're really pushing our underclassmen to compete day in and day out, which they are doing. But we want them to compete even more, make each other better around them. And let's see how the second half of our season goes.
And the other thing is I know that it was the third home game here for here in the season, or
Yes.
and with the pink out, because the next two, you got homecoming and senior night. So definitely, something that was started a few years ago, where home game in October would be, focus on breast cancer. I know that my
Yeah.
mom had a small bout there in the early 90s, when actually my sister and I were students there at Western Branch, but
Mhm.
definitely a good cause, and a teacher cookout. So definitely plenty of faculty out there.
Absolutely. Again, the support is here. Our community is definitely rallying behind the Bruins. Sorry to hear that about your mom, but I'm glad she's a survivor.
Right.
We know that rate, I taught it the other day. I think it's 250,000 women a year are diagnosed, and over 40,000 don't make it. So, we want to keep everybody in the thoughts and prayers that have to battle such a disease, if that makes sense. But yes, it's here. It's something that we take pride in. Our boys understand the meaning behind it, than just wearing pink, because we feel it's cool. I believe the NFL started that initiative as well, right?
Yeah. Right.
making it a thing, making it, using their platform to raise awareness. So, so all in all, it's good to see the school spirit. They had a teacher tailgate. Mr. Close is really rallying, our staff will if you will, just like a coach would, building that camaraderie, building that teamwork, building that leadership opportunity. So yes, definitely a huge crowd, awesome atmosphere. Um, as you mentioned earlier, Mark, we just got to turn the page, man. But that's the
Yeah.
beauty of this show. It's not about all the highs. It's not about all just the glamour. We're going to talk about everything Western Branch High School. We're going to own it, and our guys are going to keep working, and we are as the staff. So, again, shout out to Bruin alum Brandon Carr coming in and getting another one. I believe we are 1-2 in the last 3 meetings. So, at the end of the day, we will have 363 days or 60 days to come to balance, and we'll look at next year with next year. But we got another quality opponent in Kings Fort that we travel to, and again they've had our number over the last few years as well. So we have really dove into the details. Our boys have really looked at film, really got a lot of good tape in, to where I don't feel like we're spoon feeding them information. We can tell them what they like to do. We can show them, but now our kids see it for themselves. And that was our
Yeah.
challenge from last week. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. I know that here we are. We got Kings Fork, then Great Bridge. So we got back to back road games there for the varsity. I mean, so here we are with smack dab where we're starting here the second half of the schedule, and when you just
Yes,
play once a week, I mean those practices here are very key, and looking forward here to see how the team does there tomorrow.
absolutely. And we're competing. We talked last week about right now it's all about seeding.
Yeah.
And the 6A rankings came out, and right now we're tied for third with Oscar Smith, a quality opponent within our own district. So, at the end of the day, we want to win, we expect to win. There's not one game that we go into hoping we can win or, let's see what it looks like. We're expecting to win games. The first portion of our schedule, the first 3, we won the games the way we won them, the way we should have won those games. And it's not taking away any credit to any of those 3 programs, Hickory, Mansfield, or Catholic. Now we hit the beef of our schedule with 3 heavy hitters in Nansman, Indian River, and Kings Fort. So, these are the games where you earn your respect, you earn your stripes. And our kids know that, and we know that as a staff. Um, but we felt that every game was a winnable game for us. Again, we have to just get out of our own way. We got to compete for 4 quarters. Going back to Indian River, our first quarter, third, and fourth quarter were the best.
Right.
We let the second quarter get away from us, and Coach E shared that post game with our guys, man. If we played first, third, and fourth quarter, all 4 quarters, or we played any of that energy in the second, we don't know the outcome of the game, but we know the game would have been a little bit more of a game, if that makes sense. So again, not harping. We had to turn the page and move on, which we all have. Currently, we're 3-2 right now. I believe in fourth or fifth place in the Southeastern District. But as I mentioned, right now we're tied for third in 6A. We can only build on those things. So at the end of the day, it's football, man. It's what we sign up for. It's the reason why Sports Talk with Rags cover, Bruin football. We're going to accept it all. We're going to own it, and we're going to keep competing and coaching these young men hard.
Yeah, and the one thing is I know that a lot of people don't have the hard copy of the paper anymore, but it's especially here in football season. Larry and Jamie do a good job on providing stats there for offense and defense. And this year, I noticed where they segregated between public school and private school,
Correct.
but there's some Bruins there on both sides of the ball there with the electronic stats. I mean, with apps and websites now, it's very easy to read, and I think Larry and Jamie also do the weekly rankings. I mean,
Yes.
college football does it in October. Why can't VHSL, do it here for the fans?
Correct, correct. So, again, I believe behind every reporter that's reporting stats, we got to give credit to the designees, right? So, Coach
Right.
E
Right.
dedicates a portion of his Saturday and Sunday to make sure that it's in on time and accurate, if that makes sense. And, for me, that's the biggest. I want accuracy so
Yeah.
our guys earn everything. But yeah, it's actually great to have. I think we go back to the 90s, Mark. You had to go to the back sports
Right.
section and filter through all the stats, rushing and passing. You may have 30 kids per category, but I also think it's good that they kind of separated the private school and public schools. Respectfully, the level of competitions could be sometimes different, but we played against private schools like Benedictine Prep that could very well, be in the same conversation as many public schools. But again, courtesy to the guys and the divisions and the levels, I think that's the right thing to do. And then as far as rankings, I haven't looked at any rankings this year. We're trying to keep our kids away from, that media portion of it all because it's forever changing. It's kind of like that old Mike Jones song. Back then, you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Y'all on me, right? So at the end of the day, and I don't own those rights to those words, but at the end of the day, we just focusing on Western Branch, and we appreciate all the media that does cover Western Branch and all, the Virginia Pilot 757 teams and all the reporters. Because again, they make our sport what it is in the 757 and abroad. So we don't discount what they do. We just try to keep our kids grounded in what we do, if that makes sense. So, but yes, it's good to see quite a few guys in stat categories, statistic categories, if you will, throughout the entire 757 area and the peninsula. And, out competing some of these guys or competing with a lot of these guys in their respectful accolades and categories.
Yeah, and the other thing is with Shamik, playing close to home last Saturday. His parents didn't have to go far, so definitely
Right.
see his dad. There on the sideline. So I know they're alums, but here's somebody that was a recent parent of the program, and what's he doing
Yes.
Friday night? He's coming up to the game, watching the Bruins.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hopefully, we could get him next week for our Real Talk Tuesday. I reached out to him earlier this week and just offered the invitation of a Bruin alum, coming back. And that's what we want. We want more of our Bruins, more of our guys that have walked through these halls, been in the same locker room, and have built a rapport and have built, just that tradition of Bruin pride, coming back and talking to our guys. But definitely. Excited to see Shamik get one. I think William and Mary had their number the past few years. So A&T came in and, did what they needed to do. And happy for Shamik. Not jumping ahead, but what a surreal atmosphere for Virginia Tech and Wake Forest, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, sitting on the other
Yeah.
side. I've been to many of Virginia Tech games and supporting our Bruins and, guys alike. And, to be on the other side and to be able to take in, Lane Stadium and all those things that Virginia Tech has to offer from a game day atmosphere was definitely fun. But definitely, it's great to have Bruins on campus. It's great to have Bruins on our staff. And, just we're building something. It's just a part of the process. And one thing we share with our kids, adversity will reveal the true you. We're 3-2, but we feel like we're 2-3, if that makes sense. And when you are battling a back-to-back tough loss to two quality opponents, how do you come back? How do you answer? coming out of that. And that's been our challenge the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the other thing is to piggyback on what you just said. I mean, Todd Hollowell, class of '95, Bruin alum, Bruin football alum. He was probably the first, and I know that Lou listens to these episodes, but he was probably the first Bruin alum that I knew that went to Wake Forest. I mean, if
Uh-huh.
there was others earlier, I don't know them personally. I know
Right.
Todd, and so with seeing him on Facebook saying, Wake winning at Lane, and then like I texted you, with Virginia Tech being a independent Big East, and then the ACC. They didn't join the ACC till '04, so
Right.
that was Wake's first win
Right.
at Lane for a good while. So
Correct. Correct. It was 1983, I
right.
believe.
That's
1983.
that's
And I think Coach Cullen may shoot a text to you. It's another O lineman that went before. Help me out, Big Todd, and
oh, okay.
his last name is Carmine.
Oh
Carmine.
yes, yes,
Yep, yep.
yeah,
So he was at our golf tournament.
yes,
I'm drawing a blank right now, first name wise, but
right.
he was proud, and I had a chance to hang out with uh, Ricky Corey, and
Yeah,
I believe he got received a text from one of his
right.
former teammates. Talking about Wake winning for the first time. But I mean, the atmosphere was fun. We got a lot of respect for Virginia Tech. I do
Right.
personally.
Right.
I've been using the word. I got dual citizenship. My
Yeah,
cousin Vincent
Vince.
Hall, I mean, Chavarone, all those guys, man. So at the end of the day, it was an awesome moment to see my child, my personal child, and a Bruin football alum and a graduate of Western Branch, Devin Cook, be on the field. He was challenged with adversity with two calls that were good calls, but they answered the bell on the back end, um, pushing that field goal to the right, if that makes sense, with field goal pressure. So at the end of the day, it was great, but at the same time, just a lot of respect for Virginia Tech, and there's so many longtime Hokies fans that still remember so many, Hokies, past and present. Joey Sly, one of my former students up north in
Yeah.
the Stafford area, and sent him a picture, man. Guess where the Cooks are hanging out this weekend? And he responded pretty cool, just stuff like that. But all in all, what a game! What a game! And then all the guys that competed this week, this past weekend, that are playing on Saturdays, not making it too much of an emphasis on Devin Cook, but we're extremely proud of all those Bruins, all those guys. And I said it plenty of times on Saturdays, we don't really have to go far, man. Just click the remote, go to ESPN Plus or whatever network, and you can see a Bruin on TV. So it's pretty fun to watch. And we're just excited about where we are with those guys, and there's so many more that are going to join that cool fraternity of being able to play on Saturdays real soon.
Yes, and I think Rick or Coach Arculin, they might text me. I mean, I didn't move here till '87, but definitely great to see.
Yeah,
Here's a Bruin alum from the early '80s and a Wake alum.
yeah,
And then Todd there in graduate '95. So we're talking late
yeah.
'90s. And Todd, if you're listening, that 30-year homecoming is coming up here, not to here in the next week or so. And
Yeah,
then now here Devin, Western Branch alum at
yeah.
Wake. So definitely, over the years, some Bruin pride and Wake Forest football.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep, yep.
But, hey, so let's see, JV with varsity having back-to-back road games. That means that JV is going to have back-to-back home games. So
Yes.
how they've been doing?
I think they've had their best practice, all season. We've made some adjustments because that is the developmental level. We want
Right.
those guys to be able to progress in the process of being a junior varsity player to prepare them for Friday nights and Thursday nights on some years. But I think yesterday they had a lot of energy at practice. Coach Winley was bringing Coach Winley juice, if that makes sense. And we got some young guys that are going to be household names pretty soon. And so we're excited about the night. As always, our entire staff will be on the sideline supporting those guys and coaching them through. We're looking for Coach E to get his first win again against a good JV team. Most successful varsity teams have successful JV teams. And so we're excited about the night. It's another opportunity for Coach E to get out there and get after it. And I can't wait to see what 6 o'clock looks like.
Yes, and the other thing is going back to last Friday night. I mean, I know that our youth pastor Alex,
Yes,
his wife
yes,
just had another baby, and I know that Corbett, with his kids having games, but definitely appreciated Paul, throughout the game, giving a shout out there to the Harborview campus of
yes.
Liberty Live, and especially with Corbett and Alex here providing the pregame meal.
Correct. And we thank you, Rags, for setting it up.
Sure thing, no
We really
problem.
do. We really do. I'll never forget.
No, so definitely appreciate bridging the gap, and I know that definitely here we similar to when I went out to practice there on that Tuesday. Just share
Yeah,
there with the kids that, hey, we're here for you, and we support you.
correct. And that's what it is. Coach Thomas, shout out to Coach Thomas, boy, coach. Can't wait for real talk. And the emphasis of, when you go blue and gold, you represent the community. Like this community is very prideful in West Branch football and all sports, not just ours, but even female sports that we offer here.
Right.
And so you just again just solidify the pride and the belief and the support is what our community is. All our dudes got to do, all our young men have to do, and our staff is go out week to week out, including themselves, playing for.
Yep. Yeah. So, and talk about female sports. I mean, Saturday, the all right, and also Rashad, what you were talking about here when you talk about Coach Thomas, that was Charles Thomas, another
Yes,
another Bruin alum, that definitely has not only his hand over the football program as he moved on to basketball, but definitely someone here that has through his brother and his parents' ministries, bring here ministries into the community.
correct, absolutely. He's well connected. But it's the guy that I trust, and he trusts me as equally. The relationship that we have built coming out of COVID and all those things considered, I just felt it was right. You get the right guys to pour into the guys, and I think Coach Thomas and I have a knack for what's needed, if that makes sense, and playing on the strength of others, if that makes sense. And to me, Timon is there, the support is there. He's at every home game. He's seen it in live, he's seen it in person. So he's been able to see from a football standpoint, a leadership standpoint, what things are looking like. And it's not really bad, but again, we just can't have the other things that happen, right? The undisciplined things, the technique, getting away from technique and things that we taught. But he's also a very motivational, inspirational person, a man of God, a man of faith. And, without a doubt, he knows how to put things in perspective where people may be at the moment.
Right. And when we talked about female sports, there at the school. I mean, Saturday, LaShawn's girls and LaShawn's parents out there doing the car wash,
Yes.
and I had to private message Coach Cook while she was well, I think while you guys were riding out to Lade, just saying, hey, Elizabeth and I, we took our car up there to the car wash.
Right,
So
right. So I'm gonna extend a thank you to you, Rags, and I've already talked to her. I've already
yeah,
talked to her, and
okay,
I believe probably before the season gets started, you
okay,
might be able to get Coach Cook, the other Coach Cook, the
yeah,
state champ Coach Cook
that's
on Sports Talk with Rags. But yes, I've had a conversation. But again, she's building something. And we're just supportive of her. You are as well, in this process and in this transition, respectfully. But this isn't her first rodeo. I can hear
no,
now.
right,
So at the end of the day, she's very, very qualified in what she's doing. It's again building the relationships with the young ladies and coaching them up and putting the system in that she would like to see these girls be effective in. So pretty cool. But yeah, the car wash was great. We were out of town, but to our booster club and to our student athletes that were able to be out there and drum up the support. And thank you, Rags, and our community on her behalf as well for coming out and supporting the Lady Bruins first car wash, and I believe first and second fundraiser to try to provide things for these young ladies to be able to have a good experience under her leadership.
yes, I think the 703 and the 804, they're around girls basketball in the state know about the other Coach Cook. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the 540, right?
that's right, and the
and,
five
and
four
and the
zero.
hometown, right? The
Right,
540.
but
Yeah, but all humbly shared, Rags. All humbly shared, man.
yeah,
All earned, not given. She has really put in the work. All of us have really put in the work. It may not look like it at times, but there's work that is put in for things to be what they are. But we do it with humility. We do it very humble. We do it out of the goodness of the community and out of the goodness of the kids, and the young, well, I should say young women and young men that we get to work with alongside the adults that are also dedicating their time away from family. So none of this is taken for granted at all on either side of that last name.
yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely appreciative.
Yeah, and also the girls' sports here in the fall. I mean, field hockey, and then I know with y'all's daughter, being on the volleyball, just Bruin athletics here, definitely, getting going. And I know the golfers are listening to this episode. They just wrapped up with their the team and individuals, finished up regionals there this past Monday out at Petersburg. So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, full force here with Bruin Athletics.
Correct, absolutely. And again, a testimony to the pride that we have within the school and the talent we have within the school, quality coaches in the school, and then obviously administration and our athletic director, again, are very supportive of what we do, and how we want to go about doing it. So, it's Western Branch. We're very blessed. We're on the northern side of Chesapeake, and we really take this community full of pride, and we really appreciate what we have to offer to our young men and our young ladies within our school and school community.
Well, hey, Rashad, I appreciate your time, and I'll let you get out here to the last few minutes of the Ghost game with varsity, and then as JV gets going here tonight. So go Bruins there for JV here tonight,
Yeah,
and go varsity Bruins there tomorrow. And thanks again.
man, I appreciate your time, Rags. I would say it's fall, so make sure you got a little throw blanket or something. Dress a little
Right.
warm at 7 o'clock. When that sun sets.
Right.
It may get a little chilly out there, but it's football weather. Tonight at 6, temperature already dropping, but it's football weather. Rags, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Mike Sharp. You know, all the people who have made this connection possible. Eric Black, you name it. And let's keep this thing going. Appreciate you, Rags.
Sure thing.
Go
And
Bruins.
I know that, I mean, it's all great, but I know that Rick, Corey, Coach Arculin, I know they're gonna, because I know the Carmine's nephew that
Okay.
he
Yep.
he played he played rec baseball, but that's right. There was that hey, but it also talks about here over the years Bruin alums.
Yes, yes, the
So,
history is there. The history is
right,
there. And shout out to Rick, Corey. He
yeah,
came by, I believe, last Monday or Tuesday to hang out and just talk Bruin football. You know, he could be anywhere else doing something else, but he came over and Coach Bright, myself, and him, we had a good old conversation before he was had to leave and go do what he needed to do. But such an awesome guy. You know, we appreciate him coming back around and seeing what Western Branch football looks like, and
yeah.
you can't take those opportunities for granted.
Right. So, all right, Rashad. Well, hey, you have a good rest of the evening, and go get them tomorrow. We'll talk to you later.
I
All right.
appreciate you, Rags. Go
All right.
Bruins.
Bye bye. Go Bruins.